But either way,
it didn't.
he went back into it. That's fine. That's fine with us. If we have a look here at the mini-map, we see them not pinging anywhere. Yes, they are. They're pinging there on the west flank. So are they just going to do a balls against the wall rush again? Let's have a look. They have obviously the west in mind, and we're going to follow them over there to see what sort of idea they've got through their head to do. But Golron's going to the left, and we have Tonry, Virtus, Armorix, and Domovacha, Killergy going off the other direction. But Golron actually turned around and come back this way, so I don't know what that spin was around. I guess he wanted to
do something.
To do something, yeah. I'm now trying to figure out what it was, and Taffer is spamming the plus. I'm not sure what that means. But anyway, Tonry, well, say the AMX 5100s, the IS-3, and the T-32 are coming through to the top.
Yeah. So a defensive lineup right now at the west. Very interesting.
Yeah, I expected that to be a rush, but no. Are they waiting for a scout to get into position? They're seeing if they're on the hill, maybe, first. Over there. If we see from the position of Kingley at the top there, we'll see if they are waiting on this decision before they will go anywhere else.
Yeah. And one tank is spotted in the middle, the IS-3 for Dalek. And he actually, it looked like he fired towards the Tony and his T-32.
But it's unlikely they'll penetrate in the T-32 and hold down.
Yeah. And the same with him shooting at the IS-3. The T-32 does, of course, have... Oh, he did penetrate him. Oh.
He hit the cupola. The cupola. He hit straight on the cupola, which is just the only place he could possibly hit to do damage, and that's absolutely crazy. But he did manage to get the shot back, so it was a fair exchange of damage. But what a shot from that range, hitting the cupola. That was just crazy. The cupola was hit.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, both back and forward, because the T-32 does have... It doesn't really have that great penetration, but of course if he's firing premium shells, then that is negated, of course. The IS-3 is still sitting in the building over here, same as the T-32, not really doing anything else. Just looking at each other, sizing each other up. And the AMX 5100s are still just in defensive mode, alongside with the IS-3, and only the... Yep, we have a T1 spotted. Is Ladand, and he is on the hill alone. It seems. We never know unless Quailiel decides to go all the way up there. Right now he's just taking the defensive, just like the rest of the team, and just staying alive up there, which is much more important.
Indeed, we're very uncertain of what is actually going on. Laden is up the top here, trying to say, hey, look at me. But we're also seeing the little skirmish between Tonry and Vodalek. But Russian Gangster has revealed himself in the T-69 at the top of the hill. So this is actually a very standard lineup for Lobster. Well, I say standard for what we've seen from all the other teams here today. But back over here, the Tony is seeing Voldrak and then backing off again to make sure he's not moving. But that's it. He's going forward, seeing him, backing off. Forward, seeing him. But we have a move going on up the top there. Krigley is seeing that Laden is making a move round the side, and the Russian Gangster is revealing himself. So they want to know that he's there. There's no reason why he would be there otherwise.
No. That wouldn't be. And we're seeing, well, the IS-3 in Domobusa is doing some side scraping. I don't know if the angle is enough, but no, it doesn't look like it's good enough from this angle. But still no tanks visible apart from the T-69, and the T1 on the hill. Interesting.
It's a waiting game right now, considering ACES just totally destroyed them last game. They drove through, big rush tactic, and shook up Lobster completely. Lobster was like, whoa, what the hell just happened? And this time they're going all passive, so I'm not sure.
Yeah. A little bit too passive, maybe.
Ultra passive.
Passive mode engaged. Turn off. Can't. Okay, so the T69 is finally pushing forward, and he... Nope, we're seeing them push now, doing the exact same thing, almost.
Yep, the reverse rolled here, but Quigley's there. Oh, managed to dodge a shell, but he's going to be surrounded. That Laden and Russian Gangster's going to come down. They're going to waste... Is he going to waste a shell, or is he going to ram him? He's going to waste a shell. Okay, so we've seen that happen now, and we've got the ACES team responding in kind. Not overreacting like we often see teams do. They're keeping their cool. We're definitely sure of this. They are keeping their cool well and proper, these guys. These ACES were not at all worried about what's going on here. So
yeah, but the IS-3, Vodala definitely got a salvo of everything while going past the banana lane, because he is down to around 380 HP last time we saw anything from him.
And we see the Russian Gangster take a shell, but then back off into cover again as the ACES team gets into position and ready to respond. ACES, Virtuous ACES has come around the corner here, though. He's got to be careful because he's out in the open. There's not much more he could do there, but we now see the location of the enemy, and Tonri and Devishaz is in trouble as they see the entire of the Lobster team come around the back. But the entire of the Lobster team's just been in the open. They haven't been able to fire from that position, and Bugre goes down to 58 HP before he actually has been able to do anything. And Dom has managed to stay alive with maximum HP, but he's down to now 1,187. A couple of shots there go. But a huge loss there for from Lobster as they ran across the open and took far too much damage. And Ace is responding kind, only one going down there, and yeah, that wasn't a good maneuver from them.
No, it didn't go as well as they might have hoped, because they did just roll into the middle and then decide to go all the way into the middle. If they had just stayed on the lane and just fired at the AMXs, they would have a much higher chance of success, because that did not go well at all, because they just took the shells. They didn't stop to fire back, or
no.
They didn't even shoot on the move.
They didn't. It was a really weird maneuver. They just ran down across the defensive positions of ACES, received as much damage as they could, and then got surrounded. It was weird. If they had just moved in close without trying to use the cover, they would have succeeded much, much better than that. I mean, they failed basically there.
Yeah.
ACES take the second game. Wow. Well, we're not going to have to check the stats on that. There's no need. We saw the maneuver that caused the error there. It's really weird. On Mines, we had to constantly check the stats on how well tanks were performing, because the damage was spread out along the teams, because they were able to shoot from different directions and cover each other from very weird locations. But on Himmelsdorf, it's very obvious it's more about the actual maneuvers of the whole team rather than the individual performances. So it's very interesting to see the dynamic changes between the maps.
Yeah, it really is. And here we see again, picking the T-32, still just sticking with it. Glad to see it. I did just take the last enemy, the IS-3.
Yeah, it's performing well. In fact, actually, we will check the stats of the T-32 because we haven't seen it before yet. And where are you, T-32? Received possible 2,000 damage and 1,500 damage output. So that's really solid there. The IS-3, though, did just as well, but he did die. And the other IS-3 took the same amount of damage and died. But the T-32 was alive. So that is enough, you know. Receiving that one extra shell, but dealing the same amount of output is important.
Yep.
If you're alive, your gun is still doing 100% damage.
Yep. And we basically saw that that Aces actually didn't really go for the guys who were lowest HP. So it wasn't even about staying alive too little for the enemy team, because Aces didn't even aim for them. I saw two AMXs 5100 just going up against one AMX 50, and he just shot at both of them and then just left one of them alive. So someone else was coming around the corner and got rid of him. So yeah, going into that middle, that was a weird tactic.
Indeed, it was, and we're seeing not much changes in the lineup there, and the only person who keeps going out was, well, Krigley and Virtuous are out for Aces there, and we're trying to see what they're doing. One of them's a T1 and one of them was an AMX 50-100, so we'll see if they're actually just changing around. Are they just wanting to be different? Are they like, oh, I'm fed up being the T1, I wanna play a different tank? Or is it a case of they're actually trying to?
That could be.
Unforgettable's already saying that he's chilled and relaxed.
Yeah, just like when we saw Rage, they just took in people and switched them out on
Yeah.
the fly.
Rage every single game was swapping out people for other people. There's some of their subs to make sure that everyone had a turn and that everyone got the practice in the games. But we haven't been seeing that with other games, for other teams, really. They were the only guys who really did that.
Yeah.
But they all leave now. If we now they all leave again. We're not entirely sure what they're doing, but there they go. T69, they're bringing that in. A T32 and the rest 50-100s. Are they down a player? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're down a player. Okay, well this is the perfect time to explain the rules when you're down a player. You lose a point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, they are back up to 7. So what was that about? T6,
no idea.
5, and then 2 T1s, and obviously, okay. Sorry, I miscounted there. But okay, but might as well tell you the rule anyway. Well, if you are down a player, let's say someone has to go, or just missing one of you guys, you lose 1 point. So you can only have 41 points. I don't know entirely sure why that's the case, but I guess it's to force you to, like, you know, the last player would be one of your T1s, for example, to stop you getting a T2 as your other guy. You can't stack the points and deliberately go down to 6 people. It's to give you a disadvantage in that sense. To make sure you really want to have maximum people.